Good morning, everyone. Greetings of the day. My name is Advocate Priti Khastigar, and I'm a registered Indian patent agent. The good news today is a lot of improvement is happening in the sector of telecommunication. We all know so many landmark judgments have been given, and I think the order of the day is very simple. Is a very simple concept. Leave telco for a moment. Or I would say most of the people in India have started to recognize the importance of intellectual property rights. Intellectual property rights, right? So intellectual property rights, the whole basis is until and unless most of the people in India realize what intellectual property rights is all about, India would be able to nurture the intellect. The way I see it, or I'll just talk about few of my experience, and then obviously we can talk about the checklist and today's headlines today. TRAI has come up with its draft rules, and then we have something in the AI sector also, and obviously ITU, which is the body governed by United Nations, and the ICT sector, which talks about International Telecommunication Union. I believe for the very first time in these years, things are falling in place in the right direction and for the right purpose. Reiterating what I have imbibed from, I think, fortunately I have attended all the sessions, and for the very first time I have been logged on internet for so long. I remember my years from 2007 to 2011, where I wrote more than, I believe, 500 plus patent application, out of which most of them were catering to the telecom sector. I could easily have outsourced that work to any of the telecommunication engineers. However, from my childhood, I had a vision, or I would say my manifestation was to be a part of something which is revolutionary in nature, and I feel and I thank Almighty for giving me that opportunity in terms of being part of IT in a big way, then facilitating DOT, that is Department of Telecommunication, not only in India but globally, deploying Infinity on Ruby on Rails, again with ITU in Sri Lanka, meeting all the diplomats globally, meeting all the ministers globally, and discussing about the mainframe policies, which is the need of the hour. Let's talk about when India got independence. When India got independence, there was a charter. There was an undisclosed discussion between the parties who were involved at that point of time, and somebody who is an avid reader and go through that I would say literature, one can easily, I would say, stitch that thought that what was the idea. The idea at that point of time was everybody was equal. If, say for example, I believe India was in a better position at that time, because people who had money, they shifted their base to UK, and a lot of people were the people who traveled from so many places just to settle out. And one such place was New Delhi. New Delhi, as we know, the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Zafar, from the Red Fort he was taken to Burma, and nobody knew about it because he had become very spiritual. So when I say becoming spiritual, that doesn't mean that you get into the another realm of understanding. Spirituality means activated empathy in a way to validate the process of being more human. I have been to Burma. I have visited his grave, Bahadur Shah Zafar grave in Burma this year itself, and I sat there. I met the saints there. They explained me everything, and you know what, even the people there, because right now also in Burma 50 to 60% people are Hindu there. Minority are Chinese and minority are Burmese. That's what Burma is all about today. stating that fact, not many people appreciate, or they, like I said, I want to visit, Bahadur Shah Zafar. We had a car, we had the driver, but he couldn't locate the place because the local people there call it something else. However, when I make sure that I want something, I make it happen. That's the kind of person I am, and I am one person who's very vocal about this thought process. Coming back to the point is Bahadur Shah Zafar. We have all visited, or I would say most of the people have visited the Red Fort. You can say it's a huge space, right? And there are some tunnels which, if you understand, you can get to Agra just through those, I would say the secret tunnels. The secret tunnels, if you know, you can get to Agra in like this. So the point I'm trying to make here is India has been very, very rich. And let's advocate that fact rather than, saying that this country is doing that, that country is doing that. The population of India, please understand, the population of India, which is 1.3 billion more people, or 1.3 plus, because of this COVID situation. I don't know what's happening in terms of the numbers, because that's not my forte. I only concentrate on the aspect of how India can get to a momentum where the golden age, where each one of us, at least if you're born in India, you should take pride of being called as Indian. And I do that when I go to the international forums. I make sure I become more Indian when I go out rather than when I'm in India. Because in India, everybody is like, if they see you, it's not, I'm not talking about me per se. The mindset is why, what, how, rather than concentrating what can I do to make my life better. I think that's the real question each one of us need to answer in India, and especially the youth. Youth of India wants to take that easy path. Why I say so? I have been part of this startup culture for a very long time. Even before the startup culture was deployed, I started working. So I'm going back to 2005, and the startup word was not there. However, it became a norm in late, 2007, 8, 9, and in 11 and 12 it started gaining momentum, and we all know about those facts. And I have been talking to different entrepreneurs, or I would say the startups, who start something and then they go back to the job and being clueless about their life. Why I say so? Most of the let's just divide into two buckets. The adult, let's say the entrepreneurs are adults, and the adult category itself, you have the male category and the female category. The male category is of the opinion that by the age of 35 I want retirement, I will have this much of money, I will be doing this, that, blah blah blah. However, they have seen that bigger picture by reading that book Secrets. However, one has to understand and appreciate Rome was not built in a day. That's what we have learned in a school. If you go to class 1 of CBSE or class 2 of CBSE, if you go through the English books, I don't know what's the English curriculum like right now. However, stitch in time saves 9. Where's that concept? You have to deep dive into the deep learning process to encash what you own today. I'll take my example. I come from a family where I didn't have to do all these things what I did with my own self, because I never took assistance of my family members. I never told them what I'm doing. And when I was doing my masters in biotech, I prepared for patent agent exam, and I'm the youngest patent agent in India at the age of 21, and I feel very good about it. I think that is one of my best achievements till date, and I take pride in that, for real. And after that, it was no looking back. Then I had my short-term goals and I worked for it. I didn't go begging for money from anyone. I closed myself in a door, sitting on the internet for 20 hours every day just to achieve my short-term goal. So you have to work hard, and once you know how to work, then you have to be street smart. That's what I would like to say to the young entrepreneurs in India who really want to change the world. First, change yourself. Be the change you want to see in the world is the question.